Alright, I'm recording this on my phone just to do it really fast and easy. Using the Griffin 22. It's the exact same thing as a 25 as far as wicking. It's just, the deck is a little bit smaller and the deck cap is smaller as well. I've already cleaned up my coils. I dry burned them. I washed them out. I scrubbed the oxidization off of it. And I'm just going to go through the process of wicking the Griffin 20, 22, 25, whichever one you have. The amount of cotton I usually use 3mm coils, but for 2.5 like you're using, if you're looking for if you're using like a regular cotton pad, it's probably about exactly a fourth of it. So I'm gonna cut my sizes for my coils, which are maybe about a third instead. A little less than a third. Alright, I'm gonna peel both of the ends off. It really doesn't matter if you peel both ends off, just as long as you peel one off. And I'm gonna put this on my meter here, just for stability. So I'm going to roll this up. I'm keeping the thicker side on the outside since that's what actually helps wicking pretty good. If you want fluffier cotton for like an RTA, you usually want to take both sides off because you're actually dripping right on the cotton. So you're gonna try to roll this pretty good, not super tight, but once it gets to about the thickness of your coil, just lightly or roll one side pretty hard and stick it through. Usually want to run it back and forth a little bit just to work the cotton a little bit. And what I do is I take the scissors and put it right next to the deck, and then I hold the cotton so it's not going anywhere, and I cut it right on the edge of the deck. And I do the same for the other side. So that you have a general size of what you need. I might cut these down a little bit more, but we'll get to that. Do the other side. Roll it up. Pull it through. Line it up with the deck and a couple cuts. Let me get some juice. Alright, one of the key ways to wicking a Griffin is to, I usually go around and wick one at a time, but what I like to do is I learned from Twisted Messes and a variety of other people that it helps if you wick your ends first, you juice them up first, because cotton expands when it gets wet. And I've learned that if you try to put it in the wicking holes when it's dry, you will get burn hits. So if it's wet, you know that it'll expand, and when you finally put it in the wicking holes, it's gonna stay that size, so you can cut. You know, appropriately. You get a lot better experience from a lot less frustration. So let me juice these things up. Just a little bit, just to get a little bit wet. I have a pair of tweezers, and I just barely push it in, just a little bit, just like that. That's all you need. And then I look to make sure that none of the cotton is close to the air hole, because you don't want that. If you have cotton touching your air hole, it's gonna leak, guaranteed. And then if I need to kind of spread the cotton out just a little bit, just to fill up the juice hole. And I will wet the other 4 sides. Spread some of the juice out, juice around. Now that I know that my wick is wet and it's not going to get any bigger, I know that one side was cut too long, so I'll just slightly pull it through to make it a little bit shorter on this side, and then I'll push it down into the wick hole. Just barely in there, just barely in there. You don't want to shove it down. You don't want it down below the ring. Before you wick it, make sure your ring is on really tight. Two other sides. The longer side, so I'm just going to slightly cut it, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. And do one more check around to see if any of the cotton's touching the holes, the air holes. Make sure that the wick is just slightly in the air holes, not touching just slightly in the wick holes, not touching the air holes. Just finishing it up. I'm just going to saturate the cotton a little more on the coils, just a little bit. I already have some juice inside the tank from before I started the video. Okay, well, I'm using my Vapor Shark right here, so I'm going to put my tank on. And when you're filling it up, a lot of people say to close the air holes off. Doesn't really matter to me. I close the juice flow off completely. Fill juice up to the top. top cap on. Open my juice all the way, and let's see if it vapes. Need my airflow open. Running at an easy 50 watts with a good coil and right wicking gives a great experience. You need a lot higher watts for the Griffin 25 to compensate for the extra airflow, or even the expanded deck cap. But Griffin 25 has worked for some people, but it hasn't worked for a lot of people. I recommend the Griffin 22 since the performance is a lot better. Yeah, you have to fill it up more, but the flavor is better, and I'd rather use a product that I know is good instead of a product like the Griffin 25 that, you know, it's relative. It's based on the person, their power, their coils, whatever. But I love the Griffin 22. I hate my Griffin 25.